Was Jon Stewart right about the Veterans Healthcare Bill? Let's talk about it. Well, for most of you that have been following the news, we all know that Jon Stewart has been a very, very vocal person that has really been trying to get this Veterans Healthcare Bill passed because we have had thousands of veterans that have been suffering from conditions that they have received while on active duty. And I think in many ways, even though I'm not a fan of all of Jon Stewart, and he is in many ways a very left wing wacko, I truly think that, you know, at least in one point, he is spot on, and that is that the government of the United States needs to pull their heads out of their asses and start doing a lot more to start taking care of our veterans and their health care, especially on issues related to injuries they have received while on active duty. And most recently, Jon Stewart has been speaking out very loudly about how upset that he was because Republicans have torpedoed basically this veterans health care bill. Unfortunately, where Jon Stewart goes completely off the rails is the fact that he's targeting Republicans for not wanting to support this bill anymore, and he is missing the very legitimate concern of those Republicans and a lot of us taxpayers, and his anger is completely off base. Where Jon Stewart should be furious is with all these communist liberal scumbags that have decided to throw in $400 billion of mandatory pet projects into this bill that have zero to do with taking care of the veterans or their healthcare needs. And so while Jon Stewart is completely right in saying that we need to take care of our veterans, it is really unfortunate that he has absolutely, from everything that I've seen on this, zero animosity towards the scumbags that added in this $400 billion of liberal pet projects into this bill that has basically torpedoed the entire thing. If Jon Stewart was truly concerned about veterans' health, he would be furious at all of these Democrats that have thrown in all of this money and shifting it from discretionary spending into mandatory spending that is causing all the problems. Had the liberal scumbags not added all of this ridiculous spending into this bill, I think that this actually would have passed. Because we truly do need to take care of all of these men and women that have served this country. We've had thousands of veterans that have died from the injuries from these burn pits that the government keeps trying to shove under the table and, keeps wanting to ignore. And it is disgusting that they continue to do this. But in my opinion, it is even more disgusting that they would take an issue like the Veterans Healthcare Bill that should be completely nonpartisan and should be 100% focused on the healthcare and the needs of these veterans and their families to get them the treatment that they need. And these communist scumbags go and throw in all of this pet project spending that has nothing to do with it, and that has now lost the support of a good chunk of the majority of Republicans that supported this bill. And I kind of wish Jon Stewart would pull his head out of his ass a little bit and maybe take half the anger that he has towards the Republicans that are no longer supporting this and direct it towards the liberal Democrats that threw in all this bullshit spending into this bill, because they are the reason that the support disappeared. It's not because Republicans don't care about veterans. It's not because that they don't want to take care of their health care needs. It's because his side of the aisle torpedoed the whole thing with this $400 billion of slush fund that they're adding to it. So come on, Jon Stewart, show the world that you're not just an opportunistic scumbag that is trying to have your moment of fame by trying to push this thing and now trying to attack Republicans for not supporting it, and start attacking the people that are really to blame, and that are the deep state liberal scumbags that added in this $400 billion of spending that basically destroyed all support for this. And I am willing to bet that if they remove that $400 billion from that bill and get back to the original bill that was designed to take care of the veterans' health care needs, that all of those Republicans that kind of jump ship on supporting this will jump right back on, and we'll be able to get this thing passed. We'll be able to take care of these heroic service members that have been injured in the line of duty, and we can actually make some progress on this. Prove me wrong, Jon Stewart. Prove me wrong.